Hi friend, welcome back to my channel. In this video, I will talk about the symmetrical fault calculation. Already I have done one video. Last video I have done was also based on the symmetrical fault calculation where I have done some question. So I request my viewer, I request my friend to before checking out this video, please go through the last video so it will be easier for all of you to understand the question will be which I will be solving in this video. So okay friend, let's get started. Let us consider this as a single line diagram of a network. In this network we have three alternator and we have three transformer. Okay, and this transformer is the step-up transformer, and this all the three alternator is connected on the same bus. Here the rated kVA of the alternator A and B is same, that is 10,000 kVA, and they have the same percentage reactance as 12%, and for the C it is 5,000 kVA and the percentage reactance is the 18%. For the transformer, all the transformer are of same rating, that is 5,000 kVA, and having their percentage reactance as 5%. So in this video friend, I will be basically talking about the fault at 2 points, the fault at F1 and the fault at F2. Here the fault at F1 is the LV side of the transformer and the fault F2 is the HV side of the transformer. Since this is a step-up transformer, so the winding which is connected on the bus side is the LV side and the winding which is connected on the load side is the HV side. So let's get started. We will first do the calculation the fault at F1. Here we need to find out the fault MVA. We will find out the fault MVA at F1. So let's get started. Here again we will consider the base kVA as 10,000 kVA. So as I also told you in the last video how to calculate the percentage reactant on the base kVA. So let us find out the percentage reactance of A. In the percentage reactance of A, here the base kVA and the rated kVA is same, so the percentage reactance will remain 12%, and same it will happen for the B also. Since the percentage reactance since the base kVA and the rated kVA is same, so the equivalent percentage reactance on the base kVA will remain as 12%. And for the C, it will be base kVA by rated kVA. Base kVA is 10,000 and the rated kVA is 5,000, so it will be double of the rated percentage reactance, that will be 36%. Now for this transformer we can calculate the percentage reactance. Again for the transformer the rated kVA is 5,000 and the base kVA is 10,000 and the rated percentage reactance is 5%, so it will become 10%. Now for the fault at F1, this single line diagram can be simplified as a reactance diagram like this. For the alternator A, the percentage reactance is 12%, and for alternator B the percentage reactance is 12%, and for the alternator C 36%. Friend, here I have not considered the transformer because the transformer is not our source. Our main source is the alternator, and we know that the source is only responsible for the fault and not the load. That's why I have not considered the transformer here. So let us calculate here the equivalent percentage reactance. Since all the three alternators are in parallel, so we will do the calculation and it will come as 5.14%. So the fault MVA at point F1, it will come as 194.5 MVA. Now we will go to the next case where we will find the fault MVA at point F2, that is on the HV side of the transformer. Again we will come back to this single line diagram where the fault at F2 that is on the HV side of the transformer. Now this single line diagram can be simplified for the fault at F2 like this. Here the reactance diagram, here all the three alternators are in parallel with each other, and again this F2 will if the fault had happened at F2, then the percentage reactance of the transformer 1 will be considered, that is at the 10%. Now since we have already found out the equivalent percentage reactance of this three winding, that is 5.14%, and this will be in series with this 10%. So the equivalent percentage reactance, it will come as 15.14%. Okay, now again the fault kVA will be our base kVA divided by the percentage reactance on the base kVA. So it will come as 66,000 kVA, and it will be equal to the 66 MVA. Friend, one thing we need to notice here, that for the fault happened at HV side, this is 66 MVA, and the fault which happened on the LV side, it was 194.5 MVA. See here, it is 194.5 MVA. So the fault MVA on the LV side is greater than the HV side. See, 194.5 is greater than the 66 MVA. So the fault on the LV side is always greater than the fault on the HV side. It means the short circuit MVA of the LV is always on the LV of the transformer is greater than the fault MVA on the HV side. So it is point to be noted that the circuit breaker of the lower rating will be required on the high voltage side of the transformer because of their lower short circuit MVA. Again we will do the another questions, same type of questions, which have a little bit different concept. Okay, we have drawn one network where we have considered three elements. We have considered three alternator, three reactor, and three transformer, and the fault happened on the load side of the transformer. Okay, so let us suppose at F1 the fault happened. So again we will simplify this circuit in the reactance diagram. So before that, again we need to consider the base MVA, and suppose let us consider the base MVA 10 MVA. Again I want to say that it is up to you what you want to select the base MVA. You can select any value. For me, I have selected 10 MVA. So I will convert all the percentage reactance into the equivalent percentage reactance on base MVA. So the percentage reactance of the A, B and C will remain same because their rated MVA and the base MVA is same, that is 30%, so it will remain as 30%. And for the reactor also it will remain as 10%. But for the transformer, since we have this 5 MVA, so it's the equivalent percentage reactance will become base kVA by rated kVA into rated percentage reactance, so it will come as 10%. Okay, the fault at now, the one thing we need to see here, if the fault happen at F1, so what will be the current direction, fault current direction for the alternator A, alternator B and the alternator C. So first let us consider the fault current direction of alternator A. So it will come like this. It will come like this. What will be the fault direction of alternator B? It will come here like this. It will go like this, and then it will go like this. Friend, it will not go through the load side because the fault happened at F1. So this is the direction for the fault, and the fault is always the low impedance path. So any source will follow the low impedance path, not the high impedance path. So for C also, the current direction will be like this. Again it will flow like this, and it will flow through like this. So again I want to repeat the direction of the fault current for alternator A. It will be like this. For alternator B, the current direction will be like this. For alternator C, the fault current direction will be like this. So again now we will simplify this one in the reactance diagram. Since this is 30%, so I have mentioned here as 30%, and since the fault direction is like this, so this 10% and the 30% will be in series. It means the reactor and the alternator will be in series. So this 30% and the 10%, same for alternator C, it is 30% and 10%. Again this reactor will come into the picture. So this will be here like 10% because both B and C, the current will pass through, or the current will pass through this reactor. So by simplifying this 30% and 10%, it will 40%, and this is also 40%, and these are in parallel with each other. So it will become 20%, and this 20% will be in series with this 10%. So let us check out the simplified reactance diagram for this particular diagram. So this is 20% and 10% in series, and this 30%. This 20% and 10% is equal to 30%, and this is parallel with this 30%, so it become 15%, and this again the 15% will be in series with this 10%, so it will become 25%. So the fault MVA will be our base MVA divided by equivalent percentage reactance on the base MVA, so it will come as 40 MVA. So here I have done two questions with two different concepts, where I have clearly shown that our load is not responsible for feeding the fault, only our source is responsible for feeding the fault. So this is done for this video. Thank you.